Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir, it is visible. We are able to see
Yes.
you.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Uh, okay. So let's begin with the subject first. What we will be doing is in these 12 sessions, 3 sessions are reserved for each course, we can say, like MPA 11, then 12, 13, and 14. So first 3 days we will be discussing about MPA 11, okay, which is the first book which you have over here. And after the upcoming sessions, every session will be dedicated to separate, can say, course or the book. So likewise, we will try to cover all the books which are there for you in this year. Okay, so the first one which we have today, or which we are going to have discussion on, is state and public administration. It's all about how the relevance of state and administration is there. It is all about that. Okay. So when we begin with the concept of can say, the, with the concept of state, we have to understand its origin first, that how this state came into being. Okay. Then we will discover various aspects of this uh, concept called as state. Okay. You must have heard that people call with different names. Like one would say that no, we live in a country, we live in a state, or we live in a nation, right? It looks similar. However, there are, we can say, a few significant differences are there. Okay, we will be discussing, we will be dealing with all those concepts in upcoming sessions. So today what we will be doing is we will have a look at how this state came into being, and then we will try to understand its nature, wherein we can discuss about democracy or democratic setup, or we may have authoritarian regimes as well, to which we call like monarchy, dictatorship, military regime, or one party rule. Okay, these all are treated as, we can say, non-democratic regimes or authoritarian setup. Okay, so let's begin first with the introduction itself. When it comes to defining the meaning of state, it is extremely difficult to come to the conclusion where we can have one common definition of the state. The reason is quite obvious, because according to different philosophers, you cannot fit the concept of state in one definition. Okay, everyone will have their own approach, everyone will have their own perspective to look at this state. Okay, so when everyone will give their own ideas, one would say that state is like natural institution, or other philosopher will say that state is creation. A few things which we have to take into consideration, and we will be dealing with that. And you can say it's quite obvious when it comes to governance across the globe. We have witnessed that it is just impracticable or impossible to govern a nation without a state. Okay, without a government. Okay, so for the sake, you may say that we are a stateless society. However, it will not cater the services, or we can say it will not fulfill the needs of the citizen. Okay, those or such kind of states eventually turns to be anarchic state, where governments, can say, appearance becomes disappear, or even if the government is existing over there, that government seems to be inefficient in such manner. And for that reason also, we need a strong government and a stable government. Okay, because many times we have witnessed the debates over the unitary form of government and confederation and federalism, and even we can say single majority party, and we can say coalition government in multi-party system. So these are the few different aspects of that. However, we will be dealing with those all things one by one in upcoming sessions. So for what we will be looking at the beginning itself is origin. Let's have a look at that also now, how the state came into being. For that, various philosophers have given different ideas and theories, like Karl Marx. He gives his own theory. Okay, he has his we can say Marxian perspective towards the state, where Karl Marx clearly explains in his book called as the Communist Manifesto. Okay, this is one of the, we can say, globally known book, and we can say one of the bestseller book across the world. And in that particular book, he has mentioned about the state by saying that state is not an, we can say, a natural institution. Rather, it is an artificial creation. Okay, it is created by people, and which people? He specifically concentrate on the upper strata of the society, to which we call capitalist class. Okay, according to Karl Marx, two classes are there in every society. One is bourgeois, and second is proletariat. Okay, bourgeois or bourgeoisie is the one who owns means of production. Means of production, you understand? Means of production is something. It can be anything from which you earn something. Okay, it can be like your capital, it can be your factory, it can be your land, it can be your different asset, whatever it is. However, the only thing is that it is providing revenue to you. Okay, you are earning out of it. So that is called as means of production. Okay. So Karl Marx says that there are two classes, okay, in every society. One is bourgeoisie, who holds over the means of production, and he says that almost 80 to 90% asset of the planet Earth belongs to them. Okay, to some extent he is correct also in this sense, because if you go through the various reports which are globally known, so there it is, found that only 20% population of this world controls almost 80% assets of this planet Earth. Okay, this is the fact. This is not something theoretical. This is a fact. Okay, and we can cross-check it with the help of various international reports. Even United Nations publishes many reports on this to diminish, or we can say the minimize, the gap between rich and poor. Okay. Even sustainable development also speaks about that. Fine, we will come to the point again. So what he is trying to say, that state is an artificial creation, okay, which is created by the ultra rich class of the society. And what was the argument given by them? The argument was, we have to establish peace, law and order in the society, and for that reason we need to have something called state. Okay, in short, government. So Karl Marx says that government is a creation of the rich class. Okay. And he has his own argument. He says that government is not created to maintain peace and order or law and order. Okay. Rather, it is created to exploit the proletariat. Proletariat is something to which we call working class. Okay. Karl Marx says that the state is created to exploit the working class. Okay. Why it is needed? Because he believes that clear, or you can say open exploitation is just impossible. If you try to do so, people will revolt against you, and hence you cannot go for open exploitation. That is the reason such kind of people created government, and this government became an agent of the rich class, or the, you can say, capitalist class. According to him, capitalists are those who are ultra rich, in short. Okay. So this is the theory which is given by him. Okay. This is the perspective which is given by the Marxist ideology. Okay. Second, we have something called as social contract theory. Okay, just now we have looked at Karl Marx's point of view, what can say writings, and now we will try to understand what liberals believe. Liberals in the sense capitalist, we can say, because capitalism and liberalism both are complementary to each other. Capitalism is just economic branch of the liberalism. Okay. So now what liberalism says, we have to understand that also, because these two are contrary to each other. Because Marxism and liberalism, these are opposite ideologies. Okay. And both of them have their thoughts, their ideas, state. Okay. So when it comes to liberal perspective, liberals believe that this state is definitely, yes, created by men. Okay, they also uh, agree on this point. However, they believe that state is not created to exploit labor class or working class. Rather, state is created to cater facilities or maintain law and order in the society. And for that, they take reference of one theory called as social contract theory. Okay, we will discuss shortly about that also. Social contract theory says that there was a phase, there was a situation where people were uniting, people were, they started settling down at one place, and we all know the history of humanity, how we have evolved. So during this evolution, people used to migrate from one place to another, to which we call tribal. Right? We all were tribals once upon a time, and when they were tribals, when we can say civilization was not there, till that period everything was fine, perfect. However, later on, when we can say people started settling down at one place for years and decades, then problems started arising. Okay, then we started witnessing the real problem at that time. So what happened over here now? Liberal says, or particularly John Locke. John Locke is known as the father of liberalism. Okay, he is the father of liberalism, who has propounded his ideas of liberty, equality, and justice. Okay. Now, what he says, that when people were living together, initially it was a peaceful journey. However, later on it turned into something called uneasiness for everyone, because when people start settling down at one place, everyone starts claiming over the resources. Okay, let's assume that if there is a pond, if there is a lake, small lake or something like that, if 100 people are living initially over there, so that lake, that water of that lake is sufficient for those 100 people, right? But what if 1,000 people comes and starts claiming on that water? So very quickly that water will swell up. So for that reason only, he said that the clash started in reality. Okay, because the burden was created over the resources. Okay, so the inconvenience was witnessed, and to resolve this inconvenience, people came together at one place, and they had a meeting, they had a session in which they all agreed to one point, wherein they all accept the agreement, in which it was mentioned that if we continue to survive like this, we may not fulfill our own needs. Nobody will be able to enjoy the liberty. Rather, to avoid this inconvenience, we should establish one entity called as government. Okay, and this government will take control of the state, control of the society. This government will have power with them. However, the government will not have unlimited power. Okay, because liberals never give unlimited power to the state. Okay, what they did, then all people agreed to this point, and eventually the government was established over there. It was came to be known as social contract theory. How social contract? Because the entire society came together at one place and they agreed to the point that we will establish a government to regulate the society and not controlling the society. There is a difference between these two terms. Regulation is something where you can have your rules and regulations. That is fine for everyone. However, when it comes to controlling, it is extreme step. Controlling is something where government gets almost unlimited powers. Okay, and when unlimited powers are given to the government, liberals believe that they may be misused by the stakeholders in the government or the office bearers. For that reason only, liberals never allow any state, any government to enjoy maximum powers. Okay, so that was the point. Now, John Locke says that this agreement does not stop over here. Okay, this agreement goes further, goes one step ahead, and he speaks about second agreement. Okay, initially in first agreement, what happened? All people came together, and they got consensus, right? They got agreed to each other, and this way the government was established. So this mutual understanding and mutual agreement amongst people was known as social contract. And now for the second contract, what we need to do is, liberal says, again people came together, okay, and they now started dealing with the state or the government of the time. Now what will be done? All people at one side and government at the other side. These are the two stakeholders in this second agreement now. Okay. And here people says, or can say people elaborated the powers of the state, power, or can say liberty of the citizens, rights of the citizens. And what they did is they gave many power to the state. However, three rights were kept with the citizen for lifetime. And that was a right to life, right to liberty, and right to property. These are the three rights which were kept with the people, citizens, and rest was given to the government. Okay. So government cannot disturb your liberty. Government cannot take away your property. Okay. So this way the second agreement, was arised, and only John Locke has given this idea. Other philosophers, deny this, but John Locke speaks about it. So now I hope you understood what is social contract. Social contract, in which we saw two contracts, one amongst the people, and second one is amongst people and the government. Okay, which was established through the first, we can say, agreement. Okay. So that is one of the aspects. That is one of the point where we can say that state came into existence according to liberals and according to Marxists. And there are different ideas, different theories which speaks about origin of the state. Someone would say that state is march of God on the earth. Okay. Someone would simply say that God cannot go to every country and control everyone. Therefore, God created government with the help of monarch, and these monarchs were given the responsibility to regulate the society. That is one more argument, and likewise we will get many more arguments. We will not get into that. The point of contention was that I just wanted to let you know that how state was discussed, or it was in the discussion or in the discourse of political science and public administration. And even Aristotle we have seen. Okay, in your bachelor's, those who belongs to political science or public administration, they must be knowing about Aristotle. Okay, what happened over here? Aristotle gives 6 forms of government. Okay, where he did a kind of comparative study of the government. Okay, what he did over here is he compared different governments All right. He gave the government of, or he simply says that there can be only three types of government, and all governments are merged into it. He says that a government can be of one person, government can be of few people, and third, the government can be of all people. These are the only three categories in which your government falls in. Okay. Government made of one person, made of few people, and made of all people. Okay. And for that he gave different, you can say, concepts also, different ideas also. When you have one person in power, when one person is controlling the government, it was came to be known as monarchy. Okay, where only monarch or the king will regulate the society. Only one person, and absolute power with the king, unquestionable authority to the king. Okay, that was one thing. Second was about government of few people, to which Aristotle gives the name called as aristocracy. Okay, aristocracy was the second name, and this name was given for those governments which are controlled by few number of people. Okay, here the number is not fixed. It can be two, it can be 10, it can be 15, 100, whatever it can be, but only few people will be there in the government, and that was called as aristocracy. And he gave third form of government where the society is controlled by all people. In that government, all people will be there. All people will be the decision makers. Okay. And such kind of concept came to be known as polity. Okay. It was polity. However, he has given three bad forms of the government. He himself calls them bad. Okay. Whatever we just discussed, monarchy, aristocracy, and polity, according to Aristotle, these all are pure form of government. And opposite to these, there are three different perverted or bad form of governments. So when you have one person in power, monarch, until and unless that person is working in the interest of the people, interest of the society, such government will be called as monarchy, where only one monarch will be working day and night for the people. However, if that person gets corrupt, okay, and when it comes to corruption, it's not only financial corruption. We have something called as mental corruption as well. If sometimes we would say that financial corruption is bearable, okay, financial corruption is understood, it is not that harmful. However, mental corruption is extreme in that case. Okay, if you are mentally corrupt, then you can destroy the entire society. That is sufficient. Okay, so for that reason, again, Aristotle gave different idea. He said that until and unless you are working in the interest of the people, citizen, you are a monarchy, you are a monarch. But when you start working your powers for your own fulfillment, own development, rather than society, it turns into tyranny. Okay, so that the monarch or the king turns into a tyrant. He becomes a tyrant, and that is known as tyranny or tyranny. Okay, that is one thing. Second, we discussed about aristocracy. Aristotle discussed about this point as well. What he says, aristocracy is something where few people are controlling the government, controlling the society. Again, this is also a good form of government according to Aristotle. However, if these people also starts working for their own betterment and not for the people, this government will be called as oligarchy. Okay, and the people in that government will be called as oligarchs. Okay, so this is again positive and negative. Aristocracy is good form of government, and when they become corrupt, it turns into oligarchy. Okay, this is the thing. And the last one which we discussed is polity, where all people are controlling the society, where all people are regulating the society. In such case, what will be done is all people, when they are working in the interest of nation, in the interest of society, okay, till that time it remains polity. However, when these people start misusing their powers, okay, when they also becomes, mentally corrupt, this government will be called as democracy. Okay, this is the last form of government given by the Aristotle. Just imagine that thousands of years back he has given all these concepts which we are practicing today. Okay, and that is the reason due to which Aristotle is called as father of political science and many other aspects. Or we can say he is, we can say, one of the major contributor in multiple subjects, not only political science or public administration, but in multiple subjects. Okay, so that was something about the state, okay, and how comparative study was done by um, Aristotle. And one more fact, let me tell you, that when he was about to give these all forms of government, okay, we discussed about three pure forms of government and three perverted or bad forms of government. In total, six types of governments we have discussed. He came to this conclusion after analyzing almost 158 constitutions across the globe. You can just imagine that how deep understanding we need for this analysis, because without comparison, without deep understanding and analysis, you cannot come to the conclusion which is foolproof. Okay, so that was the background of the you can say origin of state, and everyone has given their own ideas. So we would not go into that. The point is we are going to concentrate on the functions of the state. Of course, for understanding state, you need to understand origin also, and that is the reason due to which we discuss something called as evolution of the modern state or modern structure, we call it. Again, last point which is written over here is all about different perspectives on nature, structure, and functions. Here also, one of the important element of the state is that we have to understand the structure. Okay, and you would witness and you would realize that we do not have uniformity anywhere across the globe. In India, we have parliamentary democracy. In America, you have presidential democracy. In Britain, you would have altogether different one, that is constitutional monarchy. Or if you go to Syria, you will have dictatorship. North Korea, the same. Or if you go to China, you will get one party regime or one party rule over there, to which we call CPC, Communist Party of China. Or if you go to Saudi Arabia or UAE for that matter, you will witness monarchy over there. Just imagine how many forms of governments are there across the globe. Okay, and if such diverse society is there, how can we have the common structure over there? Of course not. Every government will have their own structure. I would rather say, even let's assume that if everywhere there is a democracy, okay, and even in that also, let's assume everywhere there is a parliamentary democracy, still we will not have the common structure. Of course, few elements are there, but those are limited. Okay, they are not on a larger scale. So this is important to be discussed, that structure varies according to the societies, according to the needs of the societies. Okay, what happens over here is that the needs of the India might be different from the needs of UK, for that matter, right? UK is having different idea, India is having different idea. They might be having, we can say, different society. We are having altogether different society, right? They are, we can say, having, let's assume, the Christianity over there or Christian dominated society. So is not the case in India. We have altogether different society. Rather, we are multi-diverse society, right? So to address all these issues, you cannot have the same copy paste structure for every country. In simple words, we can explain this in this sense that one shirt does not fit all bodies, right? One shirt may be fitting few people, that is understood, but the same size of shirt cannot fit all the bodies, right? And for that matter only, for that reason only, we have different sizes for that. So is the case with the government also. Okay, that is the thing. Okay, so we will try to understand the further points as well. Okay, we discussed about the origin. Now we will try to understand about perspective. We have tried to understand in the origin to some extent, but we will discuss it in detail over here. What we do here is that when it comes to liberalism, liberalism is all about giving liberty to the people, okay, and not to the government. So, in short, we can say that liberalism or liberal philosophers believe that state is made for the people, right? State is made for the people and not people are made for the state. We have to understand this very clearly. And for that reason only, again, liberal says that state is nothing but a mechanism who can cater services to the people, okay, who can fulfill basic needs of the people, who can provide basic necessities to the people, okay. Eventually, they believe that people are sovereign, people are supreme, okay, and state is below people, and to which we call something called as popular sovereignty. Okay, this is called as popular sovereignty, where people are supreme, people are sovereign, and government is subordinate to the people. However, in many countries we have witnessed that government misuse their powers to large extent to exploit citizens' right. That is also witnessed everywhere across the globe. So what neoliberal says, neoliberalism is the next form of the concept called as liberalism. This neoliberalism is, you can say, one of the modern or the latest one in the journey of liberalism. Initially, we had something called as classical liberalism. Then we witnessed modern liberalism, and today we are witnessing something called as neoliberalism. Okay, or neoliberal phase we are at present in. Okay, so that was the thing. So in short, you try to understand that liberals believe in liberty of the people and trying to, we can say, minimize the powers of the government. Okay, and with the help of that, life of the people is made easy. Okay, and eventually, if you ask this question, that what is the major purpose of the establishment of state, you will come to know that the major purpose behind establishing state was to create ease in the life of people, easiness in the life of people. You can just imagine that government is constructing the highways or the roads. Why? So that people can easily travel from one place to another, right? Government is ensuring that food will be delivered to all the households. Why? Right? Again, to create easiness for the people to fulfill their basic food, fulfill their need of that hunger, right? That is one aspect. So if you just question these functions of the government, that what government does, and if you question that why government does these things, eventually you will understand, you will get the answer. That is to create ease for the people, right? Easiness for the people so that they can uh, develop their own society in peaceful manner. Okay. So here, liberal and Marxist perspective we have witnessed already. We have seen that how liberal, we can say, disagree with the Marxist idea, because Marxist says that it is a creation of capitalist class, the self benefit, the other section, okay, that is capitalism or liberalism, talks about liberty of the people and says that we are not giving unlimited power to the government, okay, rather we are trying to control the government at large scale. Even Karl Marx goes to the extent by saying that capitalism contains seeds of its own destruction. Okay, the kind of society which we have today. Okay, capitalism is everywhere, almost across the globe. In Europe, in United States, even in India, everywhere we witness capitalism. Initially, we can say, comparatively, we were less capitalistic, but today we are moving faster towards capitalism. You can witness all the policies and you will come to know that we are moving very quickly and rapidly towards fulfillment of capitalism, because you can see the privatization. Privatization is one of the aspects of capitalism itself. Okay. So, point is that Karl Marx said that the capitalism will collapse by its own burden. Okay, because there is exploitation in capitalism. There is, you can say, huge gap between rich and poor, and one day this exploitation will continue to the extent where the labor class or working class will not be able to bear that. Okay, and eventually these all labor, you know, or working class citizens, they will just revolt against the existing system, and when they will revolt against it, eventually the state will fall down. That was the idea of Marxist ideology or Karl Marx. Okay. However, it is not realized so far. We have witnessed that capitalism, rather than falling down, it is moving upward very quickly. And few philosophers have given the idea about that also. That when it comes to capitalism, capitalism is smart enough to bend itself or rectify itself. The major motive will remain the same. However, the techniques will change. I can give one example, like initially, we can say people were working almost 16, 17, sometimes even 20 hours a day when we realized, when we witnessed something called industrial revolution. After this industrial revolution, what happened? People were forced to work for 18 and 20 hours a day continuously without any break. And one may simply question that why was that happening? The simple answer is that during industrial revolution, people were replaced by the machines. Okay. Initially, people were working, let's assume 1,000 people are working in a factory. So everyone was getting the job, right? Everyone was getting good salary and something like that. However, after the advent of machines due to industrial revolution, these machines started producing goods at large scale. Okay. So mass production was being done. Okay. Due to this mass production, what happened? Machines, they were working day and night without any break, without any salary, without any, something like that, the demands which laborers may have. So therefore, every industry owner adopted machines in their factory, due to which thousands and lakhs of people, became unemployed over the period of time. Okay. And due to this unemployment, now people were forced to work whatever factory, whatever company they get in, and whatever salary or wages they were getting in. So there was no choice in front of the people. Okay. And because of that reason, this exploitation could be witnessed over there. And because of that, Karl Marx says that this exploitation will continue and capitalism will fall down because of the, we can say, revolution of the working class. But it has not happened so far, and there are no sign of that. The reason being, just now I told you, when initially people were working for 18 or 20 hours a day, but now the system is changed. Now people work 8 hours a day, right? In multiple democratic setups, there is consensus over this issue called as working hours. So here you have fixed working hours. You cannot force any employee to work for more than 8 hours officially. Okay, again I'm, because we know unofficially many things goes on, but officially you cannot force anyone to work for more than 8 hours. Okay, that is one thing. Initially people were working in bad conditions in mines and we can say different areas where you did not have the basic facilities. However, it is also changed over the period of time. Now what has happened? People sit in office, right, and they work under the AC, right, and because of that, these workers will never revolt against the capitalist class. So these are the few ideas which are given by, can say, these different ideologies, right? So these are the, we can say, different point of view, different ideas which we try to understand today. And I think 10 minutes or 5 minutes are left. So if any one of you, have any question, we may take it. Sharma sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening to you. Now the students are free to ask questions to the expert. You can put whatever clarification or any other thing out of the lecture.
Can we ask a question out of the lecture?
From the academic point of view, are saying, or administrative one?
Point of view.
Sorry, I am not able to hear you. What are you saying?
From the academic point of view,
Yes,
act-
sure. You can go ahead.
how to
Yes, if it is related to the administrative point, I am here to ignore related any administrative issues. It may be
okay.
ID card, it may be any other admission issue or study material, whatever you want. You can ask. If it is subject matter, sir will explain you. And if it is administrative matter, I am here.
It's administrative matter.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Because in the PDF which we have received, it was also having a link for exam form and all that, and study material also.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you, how to fill exam form and when will be the date of filling the exam form. And the next question is how to fill a what we call assignments and all that. When to
Yeah.
start writing, what to write in assignments.
Okay, I will tell you. You are all July 2023 session students and you will be attending the term and examination in June 2024. This being the first session, and as I am here as a regional director, I am allowing the administrative questions apart from the lecture. Tomorrow onwards, the questions will be restricted only to the subject point which was discussed in the lecture. Now, coming to the assignments, assignments are to be submitted to the study center by 31st March 2024. So you can download which assignment is to be submitted. There is also a question. July 2023 session assignments are readily available on the website. You have to download, write, and submit in the hard copy to the study center. And examination fee also is to be paid in the month of March for the Zoom term and examination. And then only you will be able to write the examination in June 2024. Without paying examination fee, it will not be possible. Even in the PG courses, someone out of confusion thinking that the admission fee, whatever you have paid, is considered for the examination also. But it is not true. Admission fee is different, examination fee is different. In the induction program, we have already told you, examination form is to be filled in the month of March 2024 for the term and examination of June 2024. Any other question? Hope it is all fine. Now I close this session, and next session will start another 15 minutes for the other program, not for you. Tomorrow at the same time we will be meeting here for the next session.
Sir, can we get PPT of this session?